Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is not a normal nightcap thing, but yeah, I didn't have none other intro, and I felt like doing the intro. Yes, hey, what's going on, Patty Duke? Nice to see you, and welcome to everybody sitting up in the nice, comfy balcony. Welcome to a special edition of a quick nightcap, basically to talk about the movie I just came from, plus just whatever. It's kind of open, so if you have any questions or anything you want to add, you are free to add it here. Yeah, so I had a few questions um, on going on movie outings. Uh, One, the movie I saw was Pray for the Devil. Let's see. Let's start with that. Pray for the Devil. Is it worth going to go see? Yeah, I mean, if you into horror movies, then of course, then go ahead. That's your go. Um, I like horror movies, but I like more like guts and gore and all that kind of craziness. Um, but I like a little suspense, kind of underhand uh drama too. It's just that I can't do with all the music and the dun 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 because I'm a jumper. Like that kind of stuff makes me jump, and there was a lot of that. Like it wasn't really too much of things that really made you go huh, but it's like the music and then it'll stop and then and like stuff like that makes me jump because I'll be all into it. Like the hell you do that for? So I'm the Chris Tucker when it comes to that. Like on Fifth Element, like, what are you screaming for? That's me in real life. So um, that part of the movie I could have done without because there was a lot of that. It was a lot of seeing stuff in the background that ain't there. Dun 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 dun. Dun. And I was just like, bitch, don't do that. I can't take it. So in that part of it was entertaining. I guess for most of my friends that was with me, they already knew that was going to happen, so it was funny to them. Uh, but I mean, overall, it was a good movie. It wasn't as like spin around and throwing up, like no head spinning completely around and throwing up green shit and talking about I'm fucking your mother in hell and all that kind of stuff, like the normal Exorcist kind of thing. Uh, but there was a lot of bending still. They still had the little bending thing going where it was like, damn, bitch, you done broke your vertebrae and everything. But besides that, it was a pretty decent movie. Uh, just the premise of it: a young girl who becomes a nun uh, wants to learn how to do exorcisms, and of course, that is a male-dominated priest kind of situation that she kind of maneuvers her way into getting involved in. And lo and behold, she kind of works her way to getting kind of an apprenticeship kind of inside the program. And then when she comes up with a different method, because all these mofos, once they can't do anything for them stateside, they send them to the Vatican and basically kill them. They kill the people who have been possessed and they can't do nothing with them. So they wind up dying. So she's trying to find a way to keep them from dying because this young girl, who is about 10 years old, is possessed. And she doesn't want the young girl to go away and die. She's had her own traumas in her life. Her mother was diagnosed schizophrenic, but uh, she believes her mother was possessed. And so, she's trying to save this little girl. And upon her trying to save the little girl, of course, she befriends a priest who is in the program who helps her, kind of maneuver. Hey, Auntie Donna, how are you? Hey, Tiffany Black, how are you? Maneuver, kind of sneakily to get in the archives because the nuns are not allowed in certain sections of this institution in Boston, this Catholic institution where they teach how to do exorcisms. So she's kind of, working her way into getting information that she needs, and she finds this information. And the priest that she befriended, his sister, is going through the same situation, but he doesn't want to bring it to uh, his professor, the head priest in charge. So he talks to her like, "Hey, I think your idea would work. Would you mind performing an exorcism with me with my sister? She's pregnant because they're devout Christians, so she got pregnant by rape, and she been feeling guilty about this pregnancy. Uh, so she let the demon or the demon spirit in her since she felt so guilty. So she gets there. The sister has been asleep for like 4 days, 4 days, dead sleep. Uh, so they go into the room, close the door, and she got a flat stomach, right? Just laying in the bed, look like she may have a fever or something because she's kind of sweaty. And then they start, she puts the little holy water on her head and starts doing the little cross thing. And the ceiling fan starts like picking up speed. So I'm sitting there like, bitch, don't somebody want to cut the ceiling fan off first? Just in case the motherfuckers start flying and trying to cut somebody's head off. But no, nobody's listening to me. It's just my thoughts in my head. So as they keep putting more oil like on certain parts of her, because then she kept scratching her stomach. So the nun's sitting there talking to her. She puts the holy oil on her stomach, and then she stops and she starts shaking. But the ceiling fan is like going, and it's going faster and faster and faster. So when they start to, reading the prayers and all that shit, the ceiling fan blades start to flying off the goddamn ceiling. And because at first, when it started speeding up really fast, I'm like, will somebody cut the shit off? So he tried to like cut it off or either stick the his crucifix in it to stop it, and that shit just didn't work. It totally chopped up the crucifix. So at this point, this ceiling fan is going. Her belly got like really big, and then it was like hands like coming out of her belly and all types of shit. It was that part was pretty intense. So I was like, yeah. Then the ceiling fan blades was flying everywhere. I mean, it was cutting off like in feet of chopping people's heads off, and they just still sitting there praying and doing incantations and shit. And I was just like, this is just way too much. Way too much. And nobody's calling the police. Ain't nobody, ain't no neighbors come knocking on the door. Nope, none of that. They was just really serious. Like this whole thing was happening. I knew they needed to get out of Dodge when those candles that was lit around the room, them shits went out. It was like, uh-oh, it's time for business. And then, of course, the belly got even bigger, and she's just talking to her like, it wasn't your fault. It's not your mistake. And this, that, and the other. God forgives you. And all this other, kind of come to Jesus. And eventually, I guess the spirit leaves. The demonic spirit left her. So they thought, good job, we did it. Yay, woo, you saved my sister. And come to find out the next day, she gets called into the bigwig's office because the sister done committed suicide. So they're basically like, yeah, you thought you did something, but all the spirit does is leave for a second because, you've kind of bruised it, but they don't go anywhere. You have to complete the actual process to get the spirit out of the person. So I was like, well, ain't this fun? But overall, it was a pretty good movie. I ain't gonna tell too much of it, but definitely check it out. If you go to the movies to see it or you see it some other alternative way, that is fine. So I just thought that was interesting. And the reason why I was like, oh, let me do kind of a nightcap situation because I have a nightcap and I, got out the movie and changed my clothes and stuff and was just thinking about movies and going to the movies with people. And do you make that decision to say, it's not really what I want to go see, and I don't feel no interest in going to go see it, but I'll go see it because you want to go see it. And I'm just not that. I'm not that person. Like I've had this discussion with friends, and they're like, "No, you should compromise and go if the person wants to go see the movie." And I'm just like, "No, if I don't feel like going to go see it, I'm not gonna waste my time because I'm not gonna feel Like, I'm not gonna feel like I want to be there. And yeah, I may wind up liking the movie later, but for me, it has to spark an interest for me to go see it. Like, I just can't. And the way the movies is set up today, I'd rather not. Call me cheap or whatever you want to call me, but I'd rather not spend $30 or $40. Yeah, like $40 now to go to the movies to look at something that I could have stayed home and not watched. So, or watched it some other way and been just as content. So I don't know, but I don't know, and you guys could, chime in on that. But I just feel like I don't know. I'm still a work in progress, you know. I do compromise on a lot of things, but there's just some things I just not gonna compromise on. Yeah, that's my point. Why waste the time and the money? If that's what you want to go see, fine, go see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one to go to the movies or do stuff by myself, and maybe that's because I'm a twin, so I'm used to doing stuff with someone, either with my twin or my friends. I there's very seldom, of course, the showering and all that other stuff that I've done by myself, but mostly it was like, oh, let's go here, or come with us here. So I'm used to that. So going somewhere by myself, completely alone, like to sit in a movie theater, is just like, it would feel a bit weird, to be very honest. But I guess one day maybe. Uh, Eating by myself, I'm cool, because that's like, going to work and just eating lunch. I'm not that doesn't bother me. But actually, to sit in the movie and watch something by myself, I don't know. I don't know about that. I really don't. I don't have the urge at all to do that. But some people do, and that's, more power to them. But yeah, that's really weird. I feel like spending the money. Hey, what's going on? Nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping by, darling Tiana. What's going on? Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So that's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's the cancer in me, but I just rather not spend no money on something that I don't know if I'm gonna like. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, what's going on in this beach? How are you? I saw you, but I was running my mouth. So, hope you like the little picture change, because you was coming at me on my picture. But that's the New Yorker in me. Okay. Can I live solo? I can, but it's just that I'm it's just certain things I'm just used to, either somebody saying come along, or I'm just like, oh, let's go do this. So it's just certain things that I'm just not used to, just like going by myself, to be like. And the movies is one. The movies is definitely a place where I've never ever gone to the movies by myself. Ever. I can't think of a moment in my entire life where I was at the movie by myself. Even when we were kids and we were able to go to the movies by ourselves, the most I've done in that is, if, like, say my sister and her friends wanted to see one movie and my friends wanted to see a different one, we would split and go see the different movies and then meet up again. So I still wasn't just like by myself. I mean, like, roommates. No, not really. Not really. Like, not even that. I mean, my first roommate, of course, was my brother for a while, and then my mom remodeled, and we had our separate rooms, and then that was it. In college, it was brief, thanks to my special invitation in life. I always have my single room to myself, except the one time my room wasn't ready, and I had to have a I had to get a room with a roommate, and that was only for a semester. So I really just kind of been like chilling by myself. Uh, it's too dark in the movie theaters to be there by yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just I'd rather watch it, on some other device or something if I'm gonna watch it by myself. Because even if it's something like, say, for example, Till, which I want to go see, but I don't, you know, I'm gonna go support it. But and that's kind of sort of movies that most of my friends won't see because they're not into that type of stuff. Like that's more me. Period pieces and things like that. That they be like, I don't know, but like that I may muster up and just go see it by myself. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've always been solo. I've always been solo, but like I'm a solo type person in certain aspects, but I'm so used to people being drawn to me that there are certain things that I don't do by myself because there's always somebody like, oh, I'll go with you, or let's go, or let's do this, or let's do that. So it's never a thing where if I go somewhere, like even the first time I flew out to Texas by myself, I was meeting people, so I wasn't like gonna be there by myself. So it's that type of thing. Political science, if you couldn't tell. Hey, what's up, Miss New? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, I'm not doing nothing, just chilling. Just thought I'd just kill some minutes since I was sitting here doing absolutely nothing and spend some time with you guys. Beach, I did want to say that I thought it was very grown woman of you and Kimmy to have a discussion. I wasn't too um, informed on the details of what happened between you all, but I think, granted, it's the beef sector, whatever that is, but it's nice to actually have people be able to be heard and each side, say how whatever affected them. And it's not a lot of yelling and screaming, and people don't know what the hell is being said, and it just sounds like a bunch of like mush mouth. So it was definitely a breath of fresh air to actually see people just really have a conversation. So yeah. Kansas like security and stability, yes, and even if they're bringing it, like I know me, I always, if I'm not the security and stability, I have to like fix it to where in which it's comfortable for me to be in. Even in situations like relationships, like I don't mind somebody having less than or anything like that. I'm not that much of a stickler, but if you do, then I have to make sure that I put you in the right places to be like, okay, like let's grow, let's build this together. Um, you do get mad. I don't get mad. I don't know if mad is a harsh word, but I do get concerned when funds are low. I do get concerned when funds are low, but I feel better when paycheck comes or extra funds hit the account or some investment stuff hit, and then it's like, okay, I feel better about life and stuff. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's all about accountability. It's really, people always think you preaching to someone. No, but it's just like being accountable for whatever it is that happened and being able to talk about it. Yeah. Oh, no problem, Miss New. Thank you for stopping by. Definitely appreciate it. Have a great night. You know I got love for you. You are the dancer. You're the hype woman of the group, and definitely will always have a special place in that Chicago bunch. But yeah, Miss New, you have a great night. But yeah, no, as a Cancer, yes, I definitely, my fellow Cantorian. When is your birthday, darling? I am June 22nd, so I have a sprinkle of Gemini in me a little bit. Because I'm like first day or something. I'm literally like a little bit of both because my birthday was at 12 a.m. So I am definitely a little bit of Gemini and a little bit of Cancer. Well, unexpected expenses um, can surprise me, but they put me in go mode, and that's the difference. I procrastinate a little bit with some things, but when I need to like go, I get in go mode. So unexpected expenses definitely put me in go mode. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. Oh, okay, July 19th. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're definitely on the cusp. Uh, but you're a July Cancer. That's different. July Cancers. Nice. um, you need to see how I dance. No, I don't. I mean, I don't like. I mean, I gotta really be like, yeah, two sheets in the wind to be dancing. Because I don't really dance like that. I mean, I do dance, but not like that. Like not like that. Not like that. Not like that, y'all. Mm-mm. And then they don't play the music that I dance to. I'm a New Yorker, so uh, we think of dancing like, especially when I was growing up, like a lot of West Indian music and all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I mainly dance to. So a lot of times, if I'm just sitting around chilling, it's other stuff playing, and I'm just chilling. straight straight cry or fight. That's the thing when people say about cancers, like they're so sensitive. I don't think I'm sensitive, although my friends say otherwise, but I really don't consider myself to be sensitive. uh I'm definitely a person that if you've wronged me or if you have me wrong, I definitely have to correct it. Be like, I'm the type of person like, no, I have to correct you because that's not me. But I don't think I'm sensitive. Like it doesn't bother me like that. No, I definitely don't dance like Carlton from Fresh Prince at all. Um, I definitely don't. I guess I just got to be like comfortable enough not to like. I mean, I always do a two step. That's a given, but um, I don't like. I don't really, I don't really get down like that. I dance in other ways. Uh, hint, hint. I don't. Yeah, all that because it does nothing for me. Like it don't excite me. It don't. It's just like okay, the song's over. Next, moving right along. But yes, I can dance. But no, yeah, like I don't have mega knees. As you saw in the clip, I barely got my own knees, which was a joke. I do have my own knees. But no, I don't do no mega knees. I don't be dropping it like it's hot. I don't even have an ass to drop like it's hot. I just don't. So yeah, I missed that part. I was in the other lines way too long and I missed it. Hey Patricia Ellington, what's going on? How are you, love? Yeah. Yeah, I like Caribbean music and stuff like that, Patty Duke. I'm not like if you trying to get me to dance, you start playing some Caribbean music and stuff like that, then it's you might get a dance out of me. But if you're just playing like normal stuff, I'm not gonna dance. I'll sing along, but I'm not gonna dance to that. You see the stiffness? Do you see the stiffness through the phone? You see it? Well, I mean, sometimes you may see it, sometimes you don't. Because I'm sure some people thought I was stiff before Chicago, and it's like, no, I'm not. I get down with the get down, but I don't have no reason to be popping my ass anyway, so I'm not gonna do that. So it's not that type of party. Hey, what's going on, Wayne Jones? Nice to see you, sir. Um, yeah, that's just it. Of course, I still love you too. Who got Megan knees? You do, Marcus. You have Megan knees. Sean has Megan knees. Rebel acts like he don't have Megan knees, but I'm sure he's probably got Megan knees. How was Chicago? Chicago was really nice. Chicago was really nice. If I could bottle that whole experience up, I would, because it was just that. seamless. Like nothing went wrong, nothing was awry. Everybody was cool. You know, sometimes you go on trips with people and certain vibes just kind of like, oh, I ain't going on a trip with that person no more, kind of situation. But none of that was had. Like it was a great experience all around. It really was. And we laughed a lot. Like everything was funny, and not just because people were on the Pineapple Express, but just people were just naturally funny, which was totally cool for me because I love to laugh. I'm not always so serious. I'm more serious about stuff, but outside of the political stuff and social issues and stuff, I like to get around. So you know, it's definitely not a thing. And it was cool seeing people in person. You know, you watch people on here and, you know, you kind of build your own friendships or preconceived notions of how they are outside. And to actually see people, you know, outside of it, it's like, oh, okay. Like I've always saw Mr. Marcus in chats, but I've never seen him. So it was like to actually see him, like, oh, okay, cool. And to know how funny he is and just outgoing. He's ready to party like from the door. It's like, hey, let's get the party started. So, and I like that. So it's definitely it was cool. All right, not a problem. You have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, to see you on Tuesday when I do politics and wellness, of course. And yes, but yeah, it was cool. It was definitely cool. But I didn't want nothing. I just came on here to just chill it up with you guys for a little bit and just talk a little bit about that movie. And oh yeah, and I heard Trina Braxton's car got vandalized today when she went to go early vote. Her car got keyed. So hopefully, you know, they're able to find and apprehend the assailant who keyed her car. Uh, See, that's what I'm social like that. I don't, you know. Granted, I am a homebody, so I don't mind being home. But if I'm out or if I go somewhere, I will be social. So it's like I have my kind of dual side to me in that case. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah. So it is what it is. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. And I didn't take that many pictures on purpose because I'm usually I take a lot of photos of myself, so I didn't want people to just be like, "It's another picture of you by yourself." So that's why I was like, "No, I'm not gonna take my pictures on this trip. I'll take a few, but I didn't take a lot of pictures." So um, I was just like, I was in some, but I did not take a lot of pictures myself, just because I normally do that, and then just be pictures of me. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would just see me all the time, which is nothing wrong with that. I like me. And a lot of times I don't, you know, how people always trying to figure out your locations or be all up in your business. I'm not. I'm not with all that. If I want you to know, you'll know, and if I don't, you won't. And that's, you know, no slight to anybody. It's just, you know, YouTube is YouTube, and your private life is your private life. So it's just it is what it is. Yep, yep, yep. And another thing, people wear your mask. When you're going out in places like the movies and stuff, still wear your mask. There's still stuff out here. I mean, like nobody had a mask on, very few people, and people were just sitting all close. I'm like, could you move over? Could you move just a seat away, please? All these seats are here that was empty. You ain't have to come sit right next to me. I know I smell good, but lady, can you just one seat over? Thank you. Thank you so much. Because she just came in and like sat right down. I mean, the whole row was pretty much clear. So she could have sat in the whole row, and she sat right next to me. And I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, could you just move over one more? Thank you." And she said, "Oh, sure, no problem." I don't know why it was a problem why you didn't do it the first time, but okay. Yeah, and she was just a hawking and a coughing and a whatever else she was doing. I was like, girl, you want to move 2 seats, 3 seats, 4 seats, 5 seats over? So you having a issue. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the popcorn. No, you was coughing and shit before you even sat down and had some popcorn, unless you was eating it while you was coming up the goddamn walkway or some shit. I don't know, but it was a bit much. So please protect yourself, wear your mask. This stuff's still out here. Uh, right. It's like carry it in your at this point, carry it in a Ziploc bag in your purse or in your man bag or in your wherever you carry a little extra stuff. I mean, it is what it is. This thing is not going anywhere, and these people are out here just willy nilly like it's all good. Well, it's going to happen. Hey, Karen, so what's going on? Nice to see you. Because what's going to happen now is, of course, it's starting to get cold, and people are going to be indoors and watch everything spike back up again. The only reason why they lax on this kind of wearing your mask and doing all that kind of stuff is because they're trying to make money. And now that that season is over and we're heading into the winter months, uh, everything, which nothing's really gone anywhere, all the numbers, the numbers are back up. No, they didn't really go down to begin with. You just didn't want to tell people about it because you wanted to still make the money from people vacationing. So, it is what it is. But I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. These people are crazy out here. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi. Definitely appreciate it, Karen Soul, and it's always a pleasure. But yeah, it's just like, come on, like it's shit out here, and it's real. So we need not to act like it's crazy. But yeah, like I was saying before that, Trina Braxton's car got vandalized today while she was voting. So yeah, and people are still dying. Definitely very true. Miss Ellington, people are still dying. Let's not forget that. So Trina Braxton's car was vandalized because while she was voting, a lot of the voting places for early voting are set up to have cameras and stuff. So hopefully they can find the assailants who vandalized her car. Let's hope. Uh, she was in a area that there's very few, of us in. So I'm not sure how that'll turn out, but hopefully they're able to find who vandalized her car and know that for everyone, be safe out here. These knuckleheads are out here trying to protect something that they don't have any control over, and the only way they can control is dipping into their heritage of intimidation, just like they've done many years ago with Tulsa and places in Florida and other affluent black areas where they felt, intimidated and less than. They just went and, created a lie and torched the place like they did in Philadelphia, dropping bombs from planes that the city of Philadelphia is just now starting to, uh, I don't even say apologize, but acknowledge the part that many of the citizens of Philadelphia have played in targeting black neighborhoods. And so here we are again with this intimidation tactic to get people to not vote. So definitely make it your business to get out here and vote during this early voting season. I did see that Mr. Marcus, you voted, which was cool. I will be voting tomorrow as well to get it out the way. So, but yeah, if you can early vote, do it. Don't let these people intimidate you. Your voice is your power, and don't let them try to take the power that you have from God, him or herself, from you, because they don't have the power to do that. So definitely, we want to keep that on the forefront. But otherwise, like I said, I didn't want nothing. Just came to shoot the breeze. Normally, the nightcap is about like sex talk and stuff like that, but I don't really have any sex stories right now to talk about because I ain't really been doing nothing. Just chilling, just chilling. Um, Not that there's any prospects, because there's always a prospect, but just trying to just, sometimes you just need some me time, some just downtime. All that's not, there's still a lot of shit out here. So I try to make sure it's very sparingly. I don't be just throwing it around like certs and jelly beans and shit. I'm not that type of person. That's not my thing. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, the drop box is cool too. The drop box is cool, but yeah, just make sure that we're definitely voting. And Antonio would be here, but this is a short notice. I didn't even call him to let him know, so he's probably gonna be like, "You went live and you didn't tell me." Uh, that's only because I just didn't want to go live without an intro, so I just picked that one since it was late. Um, but like I said, normally the nightcap, if you check the other episodes, they're usually where we talk about certain situations or a letter or something that we've heard or seen on TV. They kind of spark the interest of conversation between relationships, whether it be uh, same sex or heterosexual, whatever, just relationships are relationships. You still deal with problems and situations and things. So, yeah. But I know my next question because a friend of mine has a barber that he's really close with, but the barber has 15 kids. I'm like, God damn, 15? That's a lot of goddamn kids. And I was like, well, he possibly can't see every single child. And he said no, he sees them all. They all know each other and all that. So I was just like, well, there's got to be some psychological things going on there. 15 children, there's some trauma there when you feel the need to, almost like a what's the name, Nick Cannon situation, and he don't have Nick Cannon money. So it's just like, what's this about? um I don't know. So that's definitely a question that I have, and I just don't know what that's about. Yeah, 15, 15. You heard it right, 15. And I'm like, God damn. And he's my age, maybe a year younger, a year older than I. And I'm just like, God damn, you started early. Like, Jesus Christ. Either that or you was just popping them out, like you were just bang, 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 bang. And it's just like, uh, I'm starting to question, were you doing all this to prove that you were not persuaded the other way? I don't know. That's a bit excessive. That's a bit excessive. And to have all these different relationships with different women, um, granted, you may be supporting the child, but that's just a lot. Any multiples? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but I will ask because I'm sure there may be some multiples in there, but that's still a lot. That is still a lot. That's a lot of mouths to feed. And he just had another, so he just had 15. But the 14th child is 3. Yeah, I think the 14th child is 3. So it's a lot of it's just a lot of peoples. Okay, that's a whole basketball team. That's the whole football roster. Okay, that don't make no sense. I'm confused on that. But I will get back to that to see if there's multiple like twins or anything like that. But even still, that's still a lot. Jesus, we're like tied up. I granted, even if you don't want to, I mean, you should be putting a condom on. But even if you didn't want to do that, then you need to tie them tubes or to clip your balls or something. I don't know. That's just a lot. That's a lot of damn people. That's a lot of money. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some people got it like that. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, so that'll be one of the questions that I will be digging into. how many is too many? And granted, I know some people would say, well, it's what you can afford, things of that nature, but are you able to really give every child the attention that he or she needs in their development? That's not. You possibly cannot. It's my same issue that I have with Nick Cannon. Yeah, you may have all this money to throw at uh, your children's mother and the child's needs, but are you there physically? Are you able to be there physically to nurture and support every single child when they need you, exactly when they need you, not when you are able to, because you have such a busy schedule because you're trying to make sure you maintain the lifestyle that all these children are used to. But are you able to just drop everything in a moment's notice and go attend to that child's particular needs when they need you? um, and I think that is where we kind of do a disservice to a lot of our children, you know, um, and that whole thing of uh, especially in our communities where uh, that's a sign of like being a man or your manhood if you have all these more than one kid and all this other stuff. But it's like, are you being responsible and taking care of these kids? Yeah, you may think you big shit because you can pump some kids out or whisper some nothings into a woman and get her pregnant and then do the 100-yard dash. But are you then responsible enough to take care of them? And you leave a woman to raise the child herself and then quick to talk about, oh well, a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. Well, if you're not there to do it, who's going to do it? Like I always say, the woman is then left to teach a man how, or a boy how to be the man in the world that she wanted to see. Somebody that would respect a woman and all that. So it's not like it can't be done. It has been done. So, but that's a whole nother discussion for a different time because, this, especially in the metasphere and all that, where they be talking all this, you know, the sperm is the sperm is like the golden goose that is the foundation of making the child. So you can't disrespect the sperm, but it's like, but if the sperm ain't shit, if the person holding the sperm ain't shit, then the sperm, no offense, it just isn't shit. You'd be blessed to have a child that becomes something, but when the actual father who is responsible, well, partly responsible for making this uh, being is not actually doing their part, then why are we praising the fact that, oh, well, it's the man this and the man that? But if the man's not doing his job, then he's not being a man. So I, it just is what it is. But I don't know. Maybe that's just too much like right for some folks. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, hell, five is too many. Right. It's not. It's really not. You divide your time a lot, and some children will be left out. There are times where even growing up, it was just the three of us, and my brother was older, and my sister and I were twins. But there are times when I'm sure they both felt left out because there are certain times where I was having a surgery or something, so my mother was spending more time with me or making sure that I was okay and stuff like that. So that took time away from them. So even with a small group of kids, there's going to be moments where people are going to not feel that they were paid attention to, which is why growing up I was very much kind of very independent. I'll be over doing my own thing. You'd have to run through the house looking for me because I'd be just chilling somewhere, just in my own space, only because there was always a need to be like, oh, are you okay? What you doing? Leave me alone. Focus on them. I'm okay. I got it. Kind of thing. So I never want, even as an adult, all that, you don't need to worry about me. I'm good. I got this. I've had this for a long time. I know what I'm doing. So yeah. Right, exactly. Patty Duke. Like, if there's no egg, you sitting up here talking like, yo, that whole conversation was crazy. I just can't. Goddess is better than me, because I'd have been like, what? Because I was just watching it, like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I really just like to hear yourselves talk, because none of it was making sense. It really wasn't. I mean, these people was really like, the sperm is everything. The sperm is what did, and I'm like, well, there does need to be an egg there. Your sperm means nothing if there's no egg. So to act like you are the only contribution to bringing life into this world is ridiculous. But yeah, that's how a lot of these men think, and that's the sad part. And they carry that to their adult lives, and here you have uh, where we're having discussions even about politics and policy with people, and you're, oh, well, get off the plantation of the Democratic Party, get off the plantation. And it's like, all right, cool. You get off one plantation to get on another. Because if you think the Republican Party is freedom, you're sadly mistaken. If you can just look at the whole Herschel Walker situation and this Lady G conversation, where he's basically saying flat out, how can we be racist if we're going to run this black guy here on the Republican Party? So, y'all should just join us, because here we have another black person that's running, and he possibly could win. So why not join us? Look, we're not racist. Look what we're doing. And this is the most ill-equipped buffoonery that is before us. And it's crazy. Like, but this is what they think of us, really. And that's the true reality. We can't, there's no way to sugarcoat that. And I think, granted, you can vote for who you vote for. It's your business. But those who strongly support a conservative agenda, and you happen to be black, you really need to be taking a deep look within yourself, and seeing that, when you sitting around calling other people names about them following, are you being the Uncle Tom, Aunt Thomasina in this situation, by following along with this train, where basically they think of you as less than, and they will pick anything, nothing smart, nothing that would really go toe to toe with someone, to actually have policy and things that make sense. I mean, this man ramble. It's worse than Donald Trump. And that's hard for me to say, that listening to him is worse than Donald Trump for me. And that's a tough one for me to say. But clearly, he's got hit in the head too much, and I can't see no other reason than picking him as a candidate to run against someone who is educated, a minister who happens to pastor Ebenezer Baptist Church, which is, of course, the church that Martin Luther King Jr. himself pastored at one point. That I'm just like, huh? What are we doing here? But yeah, it's like, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. Like, I'm not that. We're not all just gonna follow. Just like we all didn't follow Barack Obama because he happened to be black. Some of us really did pay attention to what he was saying, and the policies that he talked about putting forward before we cast our vote. Not everybody jumped on he's black, let's just vote for him. I feel the same way about Kamala Harris. I don't, granted, if you don't know, you should know that the vice president really don't have much power. The only reason why we know that Joe Biden was the vice president of the United States, because he was the white man making sure other white people felt safe that a black man was the president of the United States. That's it. That is it. That's all. So yeah, when you heard, well, Joe Biden's in the Capitol discussing Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, that's because he had to go there to talk to other white folks to let them know it's okay. This is really good for us. Democrat and Republican alike, because of course they just thought this black man's going to come in here and give everything to the black people and leave nothing for us. But he can't do that for real. But that's their mindset. Yeah, and an educated black man, woman, period, is a threat to them. Is a threat to them, and anything they can do to dumb us down, they're all for it. Go for it, and we just have to, and in that we have to band together against. And if that causes one side to lose votes for an election, then so be it. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, if the Democrats picked a uneducated, unequipped candidate to go forth for any office, I would. Why would I vote for her or he just because they're black? Why would I do that? That just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that this race is as close as it is, even though I don't really believe in the polls, because they do that, excuse me, to make sure people, don't vote. Because if I say, oh, Warnock's leading, you're going to sit back and go, well, I don't need to vote. He's leading, so he's going to win. No, that's not true. But they set that up that way, so it'll deter people from voting. No, still go out there and cast your ballot. Because 9 times out of 10, had they asked you who you're voting for, no. How many years has the Gallup poll been out, and I've never been asked? Not once since I was 18 and I started voting. I've never been asked by the Gallup poll who I was voting for, or who I was leaning towards, or what my views are on certain things. I was never asked that. So, they don't ask us. So when we're believing, who's in the lead, or who, where these polls lean, just vote. Just vote. Because the same thing was said for 2020. Oh, Joe Biden might not win, and this one might win, and that one, and people showed out. People showed out so much that the Republicans then was like, okay, now we're going to change the voting the regulations on voting to make sure people cannot vote. Incarcerated people who have paid their debt to society, cleared to vote, now have to go through hot water to try and vote again, like in Florida. So, it's definitely something that is being done. So we definitely can't turn the blind eye to it. Definitely not. But, what do I know? What do I know? But they rather us just talk about, stuff that is unimportant. Like, I really don't care what Kanye West does and says. However, I do know, though, on the other hand, that he has influence, right? And as long as he's saying something that would influence us not to vote Democratic, or not even to vote for our interests, because we'd rather turn to, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They don't do this and they don't do that for us. But you, the amount of money you have, what have you done? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you done for the community to show, hey, this is a better way to go? Nothing. You sitting up there with your $1 million bracket, your different tax code, and you could say these things because you can afford these different things. But when we're talking to people who live in real life, people who support and go out and spend paycheck to paycheck, but yet buy your $200 and $300 foam holes looking space shoes, which I think are totally ridiculous and a waste of money. Are we having it like, there is no issue, but there is an issue because these people really can't afford those sneakers and those, those I've been running on I've been working on the plantation kind of clothing that's all torn and holes in it and stuff like that. And you spending $1,200 for a t-shirt and some pants that look like, you've been running through somebody's field. Ridiculous. But people still go out and buy it and support it. They go out and buy it and support the music. So of course they're going to uh, listen to what he's saying and turn and go vote or place their vote somewhere. So they know this, and so he's allowed to say certain stuff to kind of keep that division going. But sometimes you go too far, and they got to pull you back in. But again, not my problem, because that's his problem, and he made his bed, so he's got to lie in it. I'm not that concerned, but I am concerned about the influence that he does have on the people. That's my issue. Um, you know, and a lot of our children are not brought up to think for themselves. They've been raised by this. They've been raised and brought up by this, by music, by other things that are very influential. So somebody says, no, getting a college education is lame. Do this. A lot of people will, go ahead and do it just because it's sad, but it's very true. I mean, we dealing with down in Baltimore, they're dealing with a whole squeegee situation where they don't want these young people doing squeegee. So it's like, all right, cool. You don't want them on the street panhandling or squeegeeing. Then what else can they do? Are you giving them an alternative? No, but you're just telling them no, they can't do that. Well, what else can they do to help support their families in some way? It's like you're not giving an alternative, but you're always telling them what they can't do. So let's start having some alternatives instead of just telling people what they can't do or who they should not vote for. So I was like, all right, cool. You want us to get off the plantation of the Democratic Party, then who we voting for? Who you voting for? Who are you voting for? Because you look at the other side, there's nothing over there that is for you. You can let them black people in his backgrounds or their backgrounds fool you if you want to. They're paid, okay? They get paid to stand there and wave and be very supportive. But trust and believe, their platforms do not benefit. Their platforms don't even benefit their own poor white people. But it's just for the simple fact that they'd rather be, they still feel like even in that moment, they may still have a less than a black person, but they still feel emboldened by their race to have that power over someone. It's the same thing. I mean, they got brown people doing it, Asian people doing it. I mean, it's the whole thing. Well, at least we're not them. All right, cool. You may not be us now, but eventually, okay, who you think they're gonna go for next? So, it's just a matter of time. But yeah, that's all I got. It's been an hour. And that's all I got. I'll take my ass to bed. Cause yeah, it's about that time. But I just want everybody to have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with me. And until next time, Tuesday actually, we do politics and wellness. That'll be at 8:35 on Tuesday night. Hope to see you there. Um, as always, Patty Duke and everybody else, it was awesome. Until next time, have a great night. God bless. Peace.